What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Rob
and your boy Zo,
and we're back with another video.
Okay, y'all. So today we're gonna be doing a mukbang and just having a regular conversational piece topic. This is pretty much off the cuff. I'm hungry and all day. We had the food delivered with DoorDash. None of these places are far away from us, and this goddamn food is sweating, pissing me off. So,
supposed to be loaded fries.
It's buffalo bread fries.
I'll show you guys. We got some boneless chicken here.
Some buffalo bread fries.
And I don't know what the
It's some regular classic bowling hot wings.
Oh snap!
Also, we got something from Brazil. This is a fried seafood plate. It's shrimp, fish.
Why are you yelling? I'm right next to you. Yeah. This ain't shrimp.
That's crawfish tail.
Oh. Oh, it's cold.
Yeah. And this place is literally like 2 seconds. We should have just went and got this shit. This is a short right there.
I'm not pleased with that.
Yeah, so one of the topics that I thought we could discuss, while eating is, we saw a video a couple days ago on Gotdamn ZO page. He was sort of a mediator between his two friends and an issue that they were working through and trying to resolve. And I kind of thought it'd be a good idea if we just kind of like piggyback off that topic. What you think?
What was it exactly?
They were basically talking about why the two were mad at each other, and the friend, I forget his name. The friend basically said that sis comes off as an individual that takes way more than they did.
I don't think that's a bad subject.
I mean, we can talk about something else if you want.
No, I think that's kind of cool because we speak on a lot about that. But I had a topic that I want to talk about. We could probably do it the next video. Why do some people cheat? But
We can talk about that also.
Honestly, think that one may be a good topic because I have something to say. So I guess
About why people cheat?
No. The other one that you like, Zoe and sister was talking about. You can start off, and I'll just pick it back off you.
Well, first of all, in all honesty, when I was watching the video, I said it a couple times that I felt like that was a conversation that needed to be had off camera.
Yeah.
But since they, put it out there, it is what it is. I do necessarily understand where the friend was coming from because in my past I have been put in situations as to where I felt like I was giving individuals way more than they were willing to give me. I fucked with people a whole lot harder than I felt like they fucked with me. So I definitely understood where it was coming from. I did not like the fact that sis honestly didn't really have no rebuttals. It was more so just like, okay, well, I didn't ask nobody to do something. I didn't ask nobody. It's not the point of you asking. If I'm your friend and I fuck with you on that type of level, if I know you need it and I got it, then you got it. And, over time, you notice that shit ain't being reciprocated back. Like, I remember one of the things in a video that he talked about was the projector. Sis had bought a projector and was like, I'm gonna get you one for Christmas. And then when Christmas time came around, you know, he was trying to throw little reminders and shit like.
When he saw the.
And then he was like, oh, yeah. And then he was like, oh, I even sent you one that wasn't even as expensive as the one that you got. And, you know, I just felt this hurt on a personal level because, like I said, I've been in plenty of situations as to where it's like, and not even monetary. It could be simple shit as just me being the person that's there to talk you through shit, to let you vent, whatever you're going through, I'm here for you, you know, emotionally and shit. I felt like I've never really had that. So I felt what he was saying, you know, when he was trying to tell us this, like, I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. And you know, some shit where it's like I'm not trying to attack you, but I do feel like sis low-key felt like she was being attacked. Because, again, this is a conversation that I felt like should have been had off camera. And if you're going to be a mediator of sorts, then you got to do just that. You got to mediate. You can't just agree with one motherfucker throughout the topic in its entirety. And that's what Zoe was doing, and from my perspective. So what you think?
So, I personally think, like, not everybody know how to be a good friend. It's just because you going above and beyond for an individual doesn't necessarily means that they're going to do the same. The way that you show that you are worried, concerned, and you love this individual, you want to see them prevail in life, isn't necessarily going to be the same way that another individual may do it. In that video I did see with Sus, I think what happened with that is just like when Sus thought being a friend is basically being in communication with somebody. Like, oh, okay, like, you have an issue, you have a problem, we in a group text message, we text each other every day, we're trying to make sure everybody's okay. So, excuse me, to him, that could very much so be his definition of what it is to be a good friend. It's just basically being there when someone wants to talk. But
I don't even think he was doing shit like that. I mean, because old dude went as even far as to tell him, like, you know, you do things for other people that you wouldn't necessarily do for your friend. Like the scenario where he was like...
in a relationship.
Yeah, he was like, you know, you be cooking for them niggas, but you wouldn't dare cook for...
But also keep in mind when in that video too, whereas when it was said that Sus couldn't cook. And when Sus said, you said that I can cook, so why would I offer for you to come over?
And when he said that, I did agree with that. But at the same point in time, it's like, basically when you order some fucking Pizza Hut or something, hit me up and be like, because we stay so close to each other, so hit me up and be like, hey, I just ordered some pizza, like, you want to come through?
I think that's totally different. Whereas
no, it's not, because old boy said every day he cooks, he invites us over.
That is different, because it's just like, it's one thing if I'm cooking for the person who I'm with, because that's what Sus was saying. Oh, I cook for my man or whatever, and you already told me that I can't cook, so why would I offer for you to come over to eat if you already said that I can't cook? That doesn't make any sense.
You know?
And then it was said like, oh, well, you know, you could at least offer. Yeah, I can offer, and then you're going to tell me no, and then I'm going to be butthurt about it because I done cooked all this food, and I'm trying to make sure I have enough of me, whoever it is that's at the house, and then my best friend that lives. So, I forgot what the fuck he was at.
He was saying, you know, why would I invite you over for food if you already tell me I can't cook and shit?
Yeah. So, honestly, I don't even know why Sus didn't say that. Because
she did say that.
No, well, I would have been adamant about, okay, well, you feeling some type of way, but you already said that I can cook. And that's what I would just kept reiterating it and letting me know. You already said already, I can't cook. So what you want me to do?
What she said?
But the gas thing, that kind of hit home for me because I remember when I got my first car, Well, all the way until like before I had got the vehicle that I have now. I used to always take people all over the place. When they need to go somewhere, I used to give them a ride. I used to do all this stuff, and I never got anything in return. Even not, gas money, no nothing. And like I remember just holding so many people down, and really going above and beyond for people, and realizing one day I got my, myself together, and I was finally able to see it. Like people who I'm down for ain't down for me. And once I started realizing that, I kind of like fell back and I started having dealings with a lot of people because it was just like it made no sense for me to be around you. There's no way for me to be like elevated if I'm around a bunch of people that just don't want nothing out of life and can't, they got enough money to go out, party, drink, do everything they need to do, whatever it is that they want to do. But when it comes down to the things that they need to do, okay, well, they need to pay bills, or I'm short on my lights, I'm short on my rent, I'm short on this, I'm short on all these things. It's just like, you ain't looking out for me, so why should I look out for you? And then once I got that together, I can really say I started being able to see my money. I started being able to realize people that aren't really there for me. They're there for the hype. They're there for anything and everything that I'm able to provide them with, but not for the right reasons. But their relationship, that mind you, this is something that they've been doing for years. What did they say, been knowing each other about 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
That's not going to change. It's been going on for too long. And the moment
it could change because now that the conversation has actually been had.
But apparently it's been had before.
Oh.
Where he said that, so don't listen. I told him several times about this and a couple other things. But another thing is, when he was throwing shit back up, I didn't like that. Because it's just like, if you did it,
I don't like that either.
Out of the kindness of your heart, why are you bringing it back up? I mean, it should have just been between them two or them three, and that should have been it. But for it to be recorded and then just put out for the world to see, I just felt like that was kind of like lame as shit.
One thing I don't do, even if I start fucking with you, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I did this, I did that. No, that shit whack as hell. Mm-hmm. I did it because I fuck with you. I did it because I care about you. If we no longer have that type of relationship, I don't need to do no stupid, whack, female type shit where I'm going to tell everybody around town.
Don't say it's female shit because dudes do it all the time. Just say whack shit because people do it.
I'm not going to go around town telling everybody, oh, I did this and that. Like, no. And I even tell people, that I'm close with, if I do something for you, don't tell nobody. Especially don't tell a motherfucker who couldn't help you. And I never understood that. Why a motherfucker who couldn't do shit for you always want to know how you got it done? Why you need to know?
Good. I'm going to say, find out you did it. Oh, Zoe did it. Nah, I'll go through something. Let me call Zoe.
Get they feelings hurt real quick.
Yeah, right. Flex for the camera. He gonna do it.
I don't
Inbox him. I'm short like $200. All right. Let me do it for you. What's the Wingstop?
Yeah.
Wingstop have a lot of hype. There's nothing like really special about it.
Ain't shit special about none of these chain
Popeyes.
wing places.
Wing places. But Popeyes really good. Definitely in New Orleans. It's weird. I don't know if they use a different seasoning. I don't know if the lady from the commercial is in the back frying that chicken or what. But that chicken is good as fuck. And then like the red beans and rice don't taste like other red beans and rice. The Cajun rice don't taste the same as other places. I don't know what it is. It's just weird, but it tastes really good. And surprisingly enough, that's the same thing like with the Waffle House. You would think like all Waffle Houses are the same, but I just feel like the one in New Orleans is just better. Oh no.
Yeah, I never tasted it in Atlanta.
In Orlando?
Atlanta. Cause they like go hard for that shit out there. Waffle House.
No, I ain't ever in Atlanta either. People just, it depends on where you're from. Well, I'm pretty sure people from Atlanta might feel like Waffle House in Orlando is better.
No. They go hard for that shit out there.
Mm-hmm.
But almost everybody tell me that the Popeyes in New Orleans is different and better.
It is, but don't be feeling yourself. Because 99.99% of the time, all y'all do is eat chicken or y'all on occasions. What's this, this addiction you guys got with crawfish?
It's not an addiction, yeah.
Every time we go to New Orleans, you have to go to Cajun. You will sit there and be like, oh, I'm not hungry, and then we go to Cajun. Like, as soon as we step foot in New Orleans, before we get to Mama Them house, you really trying to go to Cajun. Now all of a sudden you're hungry. And then we hit that bit like 3-4 times before we leave to go home.
Well, I could eat a lot of crawfish and it not fill me up.
Oh yeah, you be looking ugly too. Like, just be gone, just letting loose on that thing.
But I mean, I guess it's all about culturally where you're from, and you know, dishes that are like super relevant. You know, like when we lived in Orlando got those, what are they called? Those claws, those crab claws that y'all eat out there.
What did you come out?
They some crab claws that's like big in Florida. They like got black tips.
Oh nah, I know what you're talking about, but it depends. I guess it depends on where you're from because growing up, that's all we had was blue crab or snow crab, and then on top of that, you couldn't eat the shrimp because the shrimp was for the grown folks, and you couldn't eat the snow crab because that was for the grown folks too. You only had to eat the blue crab, the potatoes, egg, and the corn. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. But those were good times though. That's when family was family. Now it's just everybody competing with each other. At least that's what it feels like. So another topic before we end up Xing it off, and I think it is very interesting because I would like to know, what do you think?
About why people cheat?
Why do you think people cheat?
I think several different variables come into play because, you know, it's not like everybody cheat for the same fucking reason. But honestly, I feel like overall, for human beings, the main factor in cheating is because the motherfucker always wants something new, shiny and new and brand new. I ain't never had it before. And when something new presents itself, a lot of individuals, they don't know how to, you know, shake that temptation. And they don't want to lose what they got, but they also want to try out. Let me give you like an analogy, like, because you know I used to sell cars. So there are people that used to go to dealerships to test drive brand new cars, even though they had no intention of getting rid of the shit that they
had. Obviously, some people be knowing, like, okay, well, you know, my credit messed up, so I ain't gonna be able to go out and it's 2019, whatever. But I just want to see what it feels like to be.
And that's what motherfuckers be. I just want to see. And it's like, no.
I think, personally, I think some people have commitment issues. I think some people are they belong. It's meant for them to be alone. And a lot of times, they end up getting in relationships thinking like, okay, well, this particular person could possibly, get me to settle down. But one of the biggest things I think when it comes down to relationships and why people cheat is simply because something's going on within a relationship, whereas it's just like, okay, well, I'm vocalizing that I have an issue with this or that or whatever else. And basically what you are telling your significant other, your partner, they're not listening. Whereas they feel like, okay, well, the things that you are saying is relevant to me. Like, I'm not going to change. I'm not willing to change. And basically fuck your feelings.
Then why would you... like I said in the last video, I do not sympathize for motherfuckers that put themselves in situations. If you have vocalized this plenty of times and your partner gives you that vibe, so where they just basically like, fuck your feelings. They're not trying to change. They're not trying to elevate from anything that you have issues with. You gotta go. So anything that happens after that, it's not 100% on you, but it's like, come on, man, don't come crying to me.
Well, I'm here to tell you, it's easier said than done. It's easy for an individual to be like, okay, well, you know what? If this person's not doing this, then I'm just gonna leave. Because once you are invested within that relationship, it's extremely complex to just leave that individual simply because you feel like this person means the world to me. If you really love them the way that you express that you love a certain individual, it's hard for you to just be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm telling this person time and time again, okay, well, I need them to change this, I need them to fix this, and they're not. Because you feel the way you feel about that individual, you tend to give them a little bit more leeway. Mind you, if somebody on the street, somebody random, somebody brand new comes within your life and does stuff like that, off rip, you're not going to deal with it. You're not going to tolerate it because you shouldn't be that damn desperate.
I'm about to say, there are some dumbass people.
There's some people that's desperate to like not being alone. But some people are in fear of being alone. That's one of my greatest fears. I'm in fear of being alone.
Why?
It's not one of those things whereas it's just like, oh, I'm a beg an individual to be in a relationship with me, but it's one of those things whereas it's just like things that I have endured when I was young created, like, help mold the individual that I am today. So that way, so basically if I give a damn about you, I care about you, and I feel like you are my friend or something like that, I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to make sure that we are good. There would never be a time whereas you would have to guess how I'm feeling or what's going on with me internally. You would know simply because like I deem you to be that important that I will let you know. But a lot of people don't understand once I allow myself to be vulnerable and I let you in and I tell you this is bothering me and this has everything to do with friendship, family, as well as being in a relationship. If I'm telling you what it is that is bothering me and you do things like, oh, I'm gonna do better. I'm sorry, I don't mean to do this to you. Mind you, I associate that with things that I have went through when I was young. Whereas, like, my father wasn't around my whole entire life. So, but when he would come around or when he would try to insert himself back in my life, the things that he would do would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do better. It ain't gonna happen again, or this, that, or whatever. So every time I hear individuals do or say stuff like that, I may not show it with my expression, but internally, inside, I'm cringing. And it's really fucking me up inside when I hear people say that. Because it just basically, I'm associating what they are telling me, what they are saying, back to the things that I have endured when I was young.
Well, you need therapy.
Honestly speaking, I feel like a lot of people are broken. I feel like a lot of people, we all don't endure the same things, but just because, okay, so I may go to the store and go for some apple juice, and I see that there's no apple juice there, I'm like, okay, I'm cool with the apple juice not being there. somebody else may go and see there's no apple juice there, and they flip the fuck out. Like, oh my god, this is the reason why I came to the store. The fucking apple juice, y'all ain't got a fucking apple juice. You know what I mean? You don't get the...
That's just them displacing other anger onto the fact that this minor inconvenience just happened. And they're putting all of that aggression on that minor inconvenience.
And how would you know that? Because you can't take away from other people's feelings. This individual...
If you got mad from apple juice, bitch, you need to go sit in the corner and shoot yourself in the face.
But you can't take it away. Or you can't take away from how people feel. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel.
Well, they better keep that shit to themselves. They better go blow up in the car or something.
No, that's why I take a lot of stuff personal. I take a lot of stuff personal.
And what you just said, that is unhealthy for you.
Well,
and it's because you're placing all of those childhood failed expectations that your father gave you onto individuals.
It wasn't just my father.
On your childhood period. I'm sorry. But like,
don't say you sorry, but you nasty.
If I ain't know you in your fucking childhood, don't compare me to that shit that you went through back then.
Never once did I say I compare them.
Yes, you did.
That's not what I said.
You said
when
you hear people say they sorry, they're gonna do better, you relate that to what your dad was saying.
I never said I compare it.
That's the same thing.
I'm not comparing you to my dad. I'm not comparing anyone to my father. I'm not comparing anyone to anything that I have endured when I was young.
But you're taking that baggage.
It doesn't. Listen,
and you're laying it on there.
How do you think that you have become the individual that you are? You have endured things when you were younger that molded you to be the individual that you are today.
Right, but I don't.
These are things that I have endured when I went through when I was young. That this is the reason why I have zero tolerance, or this is the reason why I feel a certain way about this, this, and this. That's not me. Never have I once said, "Oh, because I went through this, with my dad told me this, or old friends did this to me, or oh, this did this to me. This is the reason why I feel this type of way to this type of person." No. This is the reason why I have standards. This is the reason why I get affected about certain things. But I'm not saying that I am comparing people to those type of relationships. A friend of mine could never be anything remotely close to my dad.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's just basic. First of all, without my father, I won't be here. So for that, I'm grateful. Like, that's not me sitting here. I'm not like bashing him, but the things that I have went through as a child have molded me into the individual that I am today. Mm-hmm. And there's no in between. There's no underlying. There's no, oh, you come to me and you wearing the same fragrance that my dad used to wear when I was young. I'm automatically going to associate you with my dad. I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is the things that I went through, whereas there's empty promises, there's telling me, oh, well, I promise I'm going to change. I promise I'm going to do better. I'm going to come and pick you up. I'm going to do this. I would never forget about things like, do I have daddy issues? Obviously, I have daddy issues. But I think a lot of people take it up. Boy, if you can get your ass, that sounds like dog shit. I think a lot of people, when it comes down to the brokenness, like I express mine and I embrace it. And I think a lot of people, they try to hide it. Whereas it's just like, oh, well, I don't want people to know that I'm broken. I don't want people to know that, I'm damaged. Being damaged doesn't necessarily mean that you are damaged goods. It just means that you are damaged. And a lot of people can't present themselves as being clear. And I think that is one of the best things in the world. If a person come to you and present themselves as being themselves, I think that's an awesome thing. I think that's a beautiful sight. That's why it's so hard for a lot of people to get to know people when it comes down to like relationships, because everybody try to create this facade and make it seem as if, okay, well, my life is perfect.
Well,
I don't have nothing going on.
In that aspect, I would hope that everybody who's 21 and older, I would hope that they know, like, when you first meet somebody and you're pursuant of them, that we all being fake. We all being phony.
Not me.
Ain't none of us that fucking nice and that fucking attentive and that fucking caring, bitch. We got shit to do.
I am.
The only reason we present ourselves that way is because we want to impress you enough because we like you that much. And that isn't to say that our regular selves is subpar. It's just saying that we want to present ourselves in the best light possible, and if that means embellishing on a couple things, you just gonna do that.
No, that's not cool. Simply because you aren't being your authentic self. You presented somebody that's totally opposite from who you are. You gave that person a visual of an individual that you felt like.
Let me ask you this.
No, let me finish. Okay. You presented an individual where you felt like that person would like this kind of individual. So it's not like you weren't being yourself. So that person fell for somebody that you were playing, a role, a character that you were playing.
It's not that you weren't being yourself. It's that
you weren't.
It's that you're being an
you lied.
It's that you're being an exaggerated personification of yourself.
You lied.
No, it's that, yes, I'm attentive, but because I want to impress you so fucking much, because I like you so much, I'm going to be extra fucking attentive. And yes, I like to listen, but because...
You like to listen what?
I like to listen to the individual and what they have to say.
Don't be lying to people.
But at the same time, I'm going to do everything that I do personally and regularly, I'm going to do it to a fucking maxed out OP level. Let me ask you this shit. Anybody that you have dated in the past, were they the same person after the first 60 days throughout your relationship?
Yes.
No, the fuck they weren't.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. And yes, they were. They were themselves.
If they were, then what the fuck happened? If they were, what happened? Why it didn't work out?
All relationships.
Because if a motherfucker that, because when you first start to get to know someone, as I stated, you're being your greatest possible self. You want to impress this person. You like this person so much. You don't want this person to lose interest in you. Is there a sense of comfortability that you gain after you've been with the person for so long? Yes, we all get that sense of comfortability. If we didn't, then nobody would be having relationships where the spark died, the flame went out. If you stayed the fucking way that you were when you met this person, you would never experience things like that.
Well, listen. The situations where the spark dies and people lose interest and stuff like that, simple because people get comfortable in a relationship. There should never be a point where you just feel like, you know what, I'm irreplaceable. It should always be to a point that you are always on your toes. Not that, okay, well, I'm worried and concerned that this other individual may come in and take my spot within this relationship. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, if you are always making sure that your significant other is good in every single aspect, there is no reason for them to think otherwise. Like, okay, well, this person not doing what I'm having issues, I'm having problems, and this is the reason why I'm having an issue and problem. And I'm telling you, well, this is my problem, and this is how you can fix it. You got a whole fucking map letting you know what it is that you need to do or what you can do to make sure that you guys are good. And the only thing that you say and the only response that your significant other receive is, I'm gonna do better, but you don't see the actual action being done. You think that that person is not listening to you, and then nothing is worse than feeling like you're not being heard.
This is the thing. A motherfucker, when someone tells you they're going to change, this is what people have to realize. They're telling you that they're going to change and they receive what you're telling them. But at the same time, they're still their own person. So if you're not willing to accept the fact that they're going to change at their own personal pace, that's not their problem. That's yours.
I think it's also different if they're changing and you don't see nothing.
And you don't see no results in 2 to 4 weeks. That mean they ain't listening to you?
No.
If that's the case, fuck you.
Let's say this. If you in a relationship,